Metal Express Radio is here with Gus G and Herbie Langhans, vocalist for Firewind. Gus G is guitarist, and we're backstage on tour with Dragon Force. And the first thing I want to ask you is, Gus, how did you guys get on the Dragon Force tour?
And he said, we're looking for somebody to replace the special guest. Said it's like a last minute thing, but do you guys think you can make it? And, obviously, we had a little bit of a panic moment there. We're like, can we make it? Because we need visas, and we hadn't worked on getting visas. We really didn't plan on coming to America until we see what happens with the pandemic. So anyways, we said yes. We checked everything with our lawyers and stuff. We thought, we're told we can get our visas in time. And here we are.
Wow. And then, as my son-in-law, this is my son-in-law, Brian, as he mentioned, you guys are going to do 38 shows in 60 days.
Yeah, but we jumped on
10 shows later.
Yeah, 10 shows later. Like the first three bands, Dragon Force, Visions, and Seven Spires, they started earlier. And we started on the 20th in Denver. So we're doing 28 shows in 34 days or something? Or 30?
Something like that.
32 days.
Wow, 32 days. So is that going to be exhaustive, you guys think? Are you guys out of shape? I mean, how are you going to get back in shape after being...
I can speak for myself. I don't know what Herbie thinks, but I think for me, sitting on a couch for 2 years, I'm ready for this. I'm like, let's bring it, let's do it.
That's what I figured.
It feels good to be on the move again and do something. To be honest, our European tour was scheduled right after this. We were supposed to go to Europe for another month, but it got canceled.
Right.
So this is all we got right now. I'm just excited to get back out there, and this is a great tour to be a part of.
Speaking about that European tour getting canceled, is it pandemic related or the war, or just both things in general?
I think more the pandemic thing because of the ticket selling and everything. It's hard right now in Europe.
People are still kind of numb. They don't really want to go in a venue still, and we were also facing some restrictions in certain parts of Europe. And then playing Eastern Europe is not maybe the safest thing to do right now. So if you have a show of 20 we have a tour of 20 shows, and all of a sudden you cannot do 5 or 6 shows, it snowballs from there. So it doesn't make any sense to do it anymore.
Right. So, are there any other challenges you guys have faced in this post-pandemic era of touring at this point, or is it too early to tell?
Any other challenges?
Any other challenges, yeah.
Well, it's a challenge to travel. It's like we have to do a lot of paperwork, all these forms we have to fill, but it slowly starts to go softer. People start to all these. They're lifting the restrictions, whatever, airports and stuff. It's a little bit of a drag, a little bit more nowadays.
Yeah.
And the biggest drag is that it's a little bit of an uncertain time. You don't know if you can go to many countries yet, and if the shows can happen, or if people are going to buy tickets. And I know that America is ready for it. Everybody's it seems very thirsty for entertainment again. In Europe, it's a little bit more slower.
So now this tour marks your Firewind's 20th anniversary. Did you guys have anything special planned later on, maybe when the European tour gets back, or?
Well, we're gonna do some festivals in summer. A few select dates, and we're gonna reissue. We plan to reissue in the fall the debut album, Between Heaven and Hell. So we've been working on a deluxe version. I dug out all my old demos when I was a kid. And remastered all that.
Bootlegs and stuff.
I have some stuff that I never put out there.
Nice.
So some 4-track recordings when I was a kid. I was sending to the first label in Invite, and then.
And you thought maybe doing the full album on tour or something like that, like a lot of bands are doing nowadays?
Maybe not this one right now. Maybe we're thinking about next year is the 20th anniversary of the second album. So we'll see if we can put something together, a package for it. But we're also going to reissue the first album on vinyl. It's the only album of our catalog that has never been released on vinyl. So I think that's going to be scheduled for the fall.
Awesome.
So that's the plan for later in the year. And of course, if we get
writing new songs.
Yeah. We would like to do some. We would like to do some more shows. Some 20th anniversary before the year ends, maybe in other parts of the world. But right now, it's really waiting to see what's happening. We're gonna take it step by step. If we can do the summer shows, the festivals, that'll be a good sign.
Right.
And then maybe that'll open up things for club touring in the fall.
So I guess you can both speak to this. How did you guys maintain your sanity during the pandemic downtime? I know you had a solo album that came out, Quantum Leap.
First year, yeah, it helped me. I did a solo record.
Yeah.
I mean, you worked a lot as well.
Yeah, I have my own little studio at home. So I moved 2 years ago to another city. Become a father again 1.5 years ago. So it was kind of cool, of course, to be at home all the time with my little one. But I also had a lot of projects and my own bands and stuff and producing, and I also started as a vocal coach. And so, of course, I had a lot to do, but also sitting a lot on the couch and enjoying my little son. So it was cool for me. For me, it was, to be honest, it was a good time.
I hear there's rumors about a new Radiant project in the works.
Yeah, it is. It came out and will come out on the 22nd of April.
Okay, so you guys did a whole new album?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I did it all at home, so I produced the whole album. I mixed the whole album, so I had a lot of...
Did you do that during the downtime? The pandemic downtime?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So how did Herbie get involved with this latest incarnation of Firewind? Since
That goes back into late 2019. I reached out to AFM Records, our label, and I said I'm looking for a singer. Possibly, it looks like we're gonna have lineup changes again. I wasn't sure if we were gonna split the band up or continue anymore. I was a little bit fed up, and actually meeting Herbie gave me faith again into this. We tried. I sent him some of the new stuff that I was working on, and when he sent me back his vocal demos, I was excited again about this. I'm like, okay, this is how Firewind should sound. So we worked actually very fast. It was in between Herbie switching cities and moving with his family.
Yeah, I read somewhere you gave him a deadline and he came in and did everything.
He did, yeah. We had written most of the record, but then some songs were still missing vocal lines and lyrics, so he had to not only record, but I threw a bunch of stuff at him like, hey, write.
So you have 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So you ended up writing some stuff then on the last album.
He did, yeah.
Awesome.
He did. He wrote, I don't remember which songs exactly now, but yeah.
Yeah, a lot of lyrics.
Quite a good portion of it, yeah. It was me and Herbie and Dennis Ward who all produced.
Sending files, having Christmas, working again. So.
Exactly.
Honestly, it was hectic, very stressful, but it was also a little bit like a baptism of fire, because when you can work with somebody and co-write and stuff and contribute ideas and stuff and work smooth, especially under a pressure or situation like that, it's going to work out.
Diamonds are made under pressure, so
now I'll put you on the spot. What attracted you to joining Firewind?
What
attracted you to joining Firewind?
You like my hair.
I know. Your hair's looking good lately.
Thank you.
I think the other picture was shorter. But
I know Firewind for many years, and back in the days, I also had some Firewind albums, of course, and I know the band and I know the songs.
Right.
So it was, in the end, it was cool also, especially now on this tour, to sing all the old stuff, where I bought the albums 15 years ago,
Yeah.
when I was kind of fan of the band, and now...
Here's a funny story. Like, I first heard of Herbie in one of his old bands called Sinbreed.
Yeah.
And we had done actually together a festival in Spain, somewhere, like in a small town in Spain.
I think it was 2012.
13, I believe.
13? Or, yeah, something like that, yeah.
And we were touring. We were with another touring singer, Apollo, who just quit. And I remember hearing him, and I'm like, oh my god, where has this guy been? Like this would have been. And then of course, years went by. And I didn't know. And then when I heard the name again, and they sent me the link of that Simbrate song, I was like, "That's the guy! That's the guy!"
I read somewhere that you were talking about the track "Overdrive" on the last album, and it was a different direction for you. Do you remember why Overdrive was a different direction for you at that time, a couple of years ago?
Not really.
I know in the promo she was compared to like a Dio Black Sabbath song.
Yeah. We did a little bit of that stuff, maybe like on albums like Forged by Fire, but we haven't really done those kind of tempos, those slower kind of things. And it was cool, I had this song, and Herbie said, hey, let's make this like an anthem for the fans and the live shows, and it was a good concept.
Because there we already had the plans to go on the road, to go on tour, and to have an anthem to share with the audience.
Nice. And then also, there was some mention of Orbital Sunrise, Longing to Know You, and Space Cowboy is being connected by the lyrics. The 3 songs.
It was like a small concept, like a little bit of a trilogy, because we were not sure if we were gonna make a full concept album, and then we kind of went back and forth and discussed, and then I think Herbie kind of liked that idea, and he already started writing some ideas, right? Some lyrics.
Yeah.
So in the end, instead of doing the whole album as a concept, we said, let's do like a trilogy and connect these.
Would you ever go back to trying to do a concept album ever, you think?
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's... Before we did Immortals, I was always scared of concept albums. I'm like, how can you do that? And how it seems like a mountain you cannot climb. But when we did that, I realized that it's actually easier to make a concept record.
Yeah.
Because once you have a lyrical theme, you can actually make your points, and then everything kind of like unfolds easier. So I'm not saying it's the easy way out, but it's not as hard as I thought it would.
But in the end, it's good to have a storyline, and then you have pictures in your mind, and then how they go on and stuff. So
Do you have any concepts that you're drawn to more than others?
I personally am into sci-fi stories, so I mean, I don't know. I've always had an idea about maybe doing something with like sci-fi theme type of. I don't know what that could be, but could be about some weird space travel. I don't know. But we'll see. I mean, we really haven't discussed anything like that. It all starts with the music, and then we think about lyrics and things like that. Yeah.
So do you guys think the pandemic has impacted any lasting changes in the music industry at this point? Has it created any lasting changes to what you guys do?
I think that the live stream aspect it was there before, but now it's here to stay. And we saw how many things you can do if you can develop, and you can do even whole proper production, big shows, and you see like Herman streaming the show every night on Twitch, on his Twitch channel, and like maybe we get 1,000 people in the rooms, but then it's like 60,000 people watching on his live stream every night. Yeah. So people for a while they were scared. I think like, oh, is our show's gonna go away? I don't think shows will ever go away. I just think that the two can coexist, and that's another branch of the business that is developing right now. And we will probably, with the technology that we have, I'm pretty sure we will be able to do amazing things in the future.
And I also think, to have a positive side as well, in my opinion, it brought bands more together. I think there were many bands supporting each other during the pandemic. It was buying albums, supporting them, doing concepts.
You saw a lot more collaborations actually.
Yeah. So I think the band and the musician scene really stick more together. So that's what I felt, and what I
especially in the metal scene. It didn't used to be so much before the pandemic. It didn't used to be. You saw that like hip hop artists are always doing collaborations with each other and bringing each other's fan base. But metal bands were always kind of like, no, we do our thing, you do your thing. I don't know why it's always been like that, but now like doing collabs is like a cool thing, and everybody's doing it, and it should have been like years like that.
Right. Is there so after all this pandemic and now the war and stuff, are you guys drawing any inspiration for writing new material based on any of that stuff? No, not yet.
Me personally, I cannot. I couldn't write before this tour came up. I didn't feel like playing guitar at all.
Really?
I went to a depression phase, because I did an album, the solo album last year, and then this year I was like, well, now what? If I can't play any of this for some people, what's the point?
How about a personal question? You can choose not to answer this. How did you guys survive during the pandemic? How did you guys make a living? How did you guys?
We got wives at work.
No, my wife was at home, so no,
I'm just kidding, man.
To be honest, I quit my job in 2019. I had a regular job all the time, all my life. And then I said, okay, I quit. It was a good point to do it. And then we moved. And then the pandemic starts. And I said, okay, if I will survive this, I did it right. So, and a lot of projects and bands asking me to sing on their album, doing this, doing that. I finished directly before the pandemic my vocal coach studies, so I was ready to work as a vocal coach at home as well. So and everything worked out perfectly, and I say, okay, man, awesome. So it was really heavy situation, but in the end, my position, I can say I did it. So I said it was the right decision,
Awesome. That's all I had. So what I typically do here is I'll let you guys speak to the fans that are listening from all over the country. Maybe give them some.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in and listening to this, and hope you can check out our stuff. Hopefully we'll be in a town or country near you, wherever you guys are listening from. So thanks.